Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Arden Studios and welcome back to another YouTube video, guys. Now, in today's YouTube video, I'm going to be making a support unit tier list for All-Star Tower Defense, and I'm going to be making a tier list about all of the different support units. Now, I do want to preface some things before we start today's tier list. And the first of that being that it has been a while since I've actually played All-Star, like a decent amount of time. So there are some units here that I actually don't even know fully about, so I might be a little misinformed on how they work, and if so, I might place them in the wrong spot. So if a unit like that does come up where I really don't know too much about them, I will let you guys know, and feel free to comment down below if you guys think they should have been placed in a different area, how some of them work. A lot of my opinions on these are the units I know really well, and then the units I know that are being currently used in the meta. And, second of all, I do want you guys to know this is just my opinion on the units, but definitely feel free if you guys do have a different opinion to comment down below and why, especially if you have a really good reasoning for it, because then I can definitely try to put your comment up there, and it'll help the whole community see some other opinions to know what units they should be focused on getting, so absolutely correct me if I'm wrong in any way. And really quick, finally, I do also want to say on how I'm going to be ranking the units. So I'm going to be defining the units off of a few different criteria. Criteria number one is for a unit to be absolutely top tier, they have to be a unit I think everybody should own. I'm gonna not just be judging units based off how necessary they are. A good example here really quick right off the back is Giorno 6-star, for example. They're definitely a unit you pretty much need in order to get the infinite leaderboards, but I might not put them in the highest tier because I don't think everybody really needs this unit. I think try, if you need to put it towards the end, and you can definitely get some other units first. But yeah, I'm going to be judging by how much does everyone need the unit. I'm going to be judging it by how practical it is in the most amount of game modes. So for example, if you're only using Wiz for maybe PvP, then they might get a lower ranking. And then last but not least, I'm going to be ranking the units based off how much they were used, or if they're used in the current infinite meta. So now at the time of me making this video, there are a few support units missing. The main one that I had that comes to mind is Killua 6-star, and so I don't have them on this list. Killua, I guess I'll just say it right now for anyone curious, they're probably a unit I'd put in like the A tier. They're incredibly good. They are very expensive, and you're gonna need them basically for the good infinite runs because they let you use Might Guy to its absolute fullest extent. The only reason I wouldn't put it in S tier is because it's not really practical in any other game modes except infinite. But now with that long intro out of the way, guys, please, thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. Let's get straight into it, and please feel free to comment and leave a like and subscribe. We're really close to 2K. Sorry about that, let's go. Okay guys, so let's quickly go over the tiers. I did change them up a little. My top tier is going to be a unit that everybody needs. Now, you'll see an example of this once I get into it, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. The units everyone needs, then the units that I think are must-haves, like make sure you go ahead and strive to get these units at some point, but you don't need to have them immediately. Then we have the important support units. They're pretty important, probably meta units. Then we have budget support, so essentially support units that are weaker versions of other support units. And then finally the don't need tier. This is the tier for units you literally just, I don't ever think there's any point in going for this support unit. And yeah, with that being said, let's start off right off the bat with Bulma 4-star. Now, Bulma 4-star is just a budget support unit, guys. I mean, from my opinion on this unit, I would say that it's just a really good farm unit. I do think everyone should have a farm unit, and newer beginner players that cannot get 5 stars or 6 stars as easily could definitely get some help from Bulma. It is also a huge plus that it evolves into the 5-star version, which will be higher up on the list. And so it's not much else to say. If you're a very new player, I would get Bulma 4-star, but in any other context, you're going to want Bulma 5-star or Speedwagon. And then next up, we have Bulma 5-star, which I would say is, I would have said it's in the must-haves like a few updates ago, but now I'm thinking it's important. So the reason I wouldn't put it in the must-haves is because I don't think the infinite meta uses Bulma 5-star anymore. That cash flow is so important, and it's a really great unit, but I don't really think you need it. Now, the only context you're going to be using Bulma 5-star in is it is the best farm for any players who can't access the World 2 Z banner. So anyone who's below level 100, get Bulma 5-star. In fact, if you're level below level 100, this is a everyone needs. And then once you get past level 100, Speedwagon is going to be a better alternative unit. So I would say that it's just an important unit. In story mode runs, it can also be better than Speedwagon, but when I play story mode or challenges, I still do use Speedwagon most of the time because I am not that good at managing my cash easily and being strategic, and Speedwagon gives me a little bit of a crutch in that regard. So I would say Bulma 5-star is going to go ahead into the important tier. Now next up is going to be Blackbeard 6-star. Now, Blackbeard 6-star is a pretty unique case, because this used to be like the must-have support unit that everyone needed up until Ichigo 6-star came out, but the infinite metas do still use BB6, and although Ichigo can slow down airs, you're gonna do all your stories, most of your challenges using Blackbeard 6-star. I would say this is a unit everybody needs. Even now with the current infinite and normal gameplay metas, Ichigo 6-star is very useful. No other unit can slow down the airs for you except, well, we'll get into it in a bit, but except some of the other abilities. But yeah, I do think Blackbeard 6-star is a unit everybody needs. Now, next up is going to be Law. Obviously, you're going to want to use Law with his orb, and Law is going to be a must-have, in my opinion. You don't need it, like, not everyone needs to have it, but you do want it on your team, or at least with your group when you're going into games. And the thing about Law is his support ability is so unique to him. It's really useful. It can honestly be a huge saver, especially, like, let's say you're even doing damage grinding, for example, and all of a sudden you made a mistake with your Death Note right names, and now all of a sudden you really need to use Law. So I would say that Law is very, very important. Not everyone needs to have him, but he's definitely a must-have. And as for Merlin, I'm a little stuck here. Because you don't really need Merlin for the infinite leaderboard anymore. I'm not sure about that, actually. Don't take my word for it. Absolutely. But Merlin, I think most of the new units, they're pretty much covering the whole map anyways. So I would say Merlin's like a must-have. It's such an easy unit to get, honestly, like in retrospect, and you're gonna really enjoy using them in other contexts for story mode and all. It's very useful, but so many newer units are able to cover so much of the map, like literally whole map range coverage, that I would say it's just a must-have because it's so easy to get. You can quickly pick up Merlin and get it, but you don't need it. And, actually, Ichigo 6-star. I'm a little stuck. I'm really stuck here. Because on one hand, you can go ahead, like you're going to need this to slow down units, and you can use it during the story and the challenges. On the other hand, just to get the orb, you have to be such a high level, but I'm going to say that everyone needs an Ichigo 6-star. You don't have to get it right away, but it's such a useful unit to have. If you're the guy on your squad who has Ichigo 6-star, it's just going to help out the whole team. You can slow down airs, you can slow down normal units. It is a little less practical in the story and challenges, especially the 15-wave game modes, just because, I mean, it is going to be kind of hard because Ichigo costs quite a bit to max. I wouldn't say it's at, like, the top of everyone needs. It's not the most necessary unit in the game, but I do think you should go for Ichigo 6-star. And Speedwagon, literally the most necessary support unit in the game. You're going to use it in story mode. You're going to use it even in challenges. You're going to use it in infinite damage grinding, getting gems. The only reason why this unit's the best is because it is a farm unit and the best one at that. Now, Bulma 5-star would probably have been in everyone needs until Speedwagon got released. So it is harder to get, obviously. It is level 100 plus locked, World 2 locked. But, guys, you're going to want to get Speedwagon. They're like, they are the most important. First 6-star I got from the Z banner, you're going to want Speedwagon on your team in almost any context. And Jotaro's 6-star, it's kind of obsolete nowadays, I won't lie. Way back when doing like 20,000 damage single target was still considered really, really good, Jotaro's 6-star was useful because not only are you are also getting access to his like damage output for story mode, but now that his damage output is really obsolete, you'd rather just use Gojo. I mean, he covers more time stop. I'd honestly say this is a budget support unit. I mean, it is hard to get to as a 6-star, so I actually don't think you even need to ever get Jotaro. I mean, they could be useful as a beginner, but because it's a 6-star unit that's already quite difficult to get, it's not even that practical, so I'll just put it at budget support. And Jotaro 5-star is just a don't need. You don't need this unit. It's just one of the worser time stop units. Obviously, back when it first came out, it was a game changer unit, but now you just really don't need it. And then we have Gojo 6-star, which is a must-have unit. Now, actually, it might be everyone needs. It's a hard unit to get, don't get me wrong, guys. And I honestly do think that most players are gonna need it because it can time stop almost the whole map. But I'd have to say, yeah, sure, everyone needs it. You don't have to get Gojo 6-star right away, but you're getting great damage. It's not even that expensive to max out. I mean, it's pretty expensive, but you get so much time stop range that at some point you've got to get this unit. And then in terms of must-haves, now I remember before I believe Gojo 6-star got a little buffed, Gojo 5-star was even debatably better than it. I would say Gojo 5-star can go into the must-haves. Now, you don't need to have it, like, it's just important, guys. Gojo 6-star is a better time stopper, but you're still going to be using Gojo 5-stars in many scenarios, especially considering how cheap it is. If you guys are going to want to get good runs, and you don't have access to Gojo 6-star, and you want to save cash on runs, it is an important unit. And I'll go ahead and put it in must-haves. It's definitely a good unit. Oh, and the next up on the list is going to be Erwin. Same deal as Speedwagon. I'm just trying to decide if they're better than Speedwagon. No, these guys are just tied. These are two of the most essential support units in the game. Erwin, no, I don't see this unit getting, like, replaced out of the meta forever, and those are the best units. The best units for All-Star are the ones that aren't getting replaced, because you don't want to waste time leveling up a really good unit, and then it gets replaced next update in the meta, and so on. But Erwin has been here since, like, almost not the start, but for a decent amount of time, and it's always been a meta unit. You're getting triple the damage on your team no matter what. Every unit in the game, when you look at their damage stat, you automatically multiply it by 3 in your head because you already know it's actually going to be Erwin damage. I mean, that alone shows how impactful it is. I think you should always have Erwin, because if you're trying to get solo runs in, and that's the difference between everyone needs and must-haves, guys. At must-haves are the ones you really should have, but everyone needs is the one that you need for yourself, for your own solo runs. You're going to use it in your solo loadout. And that is definitely going to be Erwin, one of the best units in the game. Triple the damage on any team. Amazing. And the next unit we have over here is going to be, I actually forgot this unit's name. Oh, yeah, guys, it's going to be Soma from Food Wars. Sorry, I'm not that familiar with it. But, this unit, I actually didn't know much about. To my knowledge, it's just a better base healer than Wiz. I actually didn't really play the game a lot when the first Star Pass came out, so I didn't have a lot of time to learn about this unit, but yeah, they're just overall really decent for PvP. The only reason I'm not putting them that much higher is because, again, remember, I'm making this at the time that Killua 6-star is out, which is one thing. So, if you're just trying to get, like, base health, Soma's obsolete. But, it is still going to be really good for PvP. I believe it is part of the PvP meta. I would move it up to must-have. The only issue with that for me is that I don't even know if you can get this anymore. I actually don't know if the old Star Pass units are out. But this is a unit I don't know a lot about, guys. So absolutely correct me in the comments if I made a wrong decision here. I'm literally just uninformed in it. And then the next unit's going to be Emiya. So this is another unit I don't actually know a lot about because I wasn't invested in the game when it was there. From what I understand, it's like Funny Valentine, but in exchange for less time on the block, you also get a lower cooldown. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that this unit can probably be put as a must-have. Not right away. I don't know if they're using it in the current Infinite meta, but it does seem really good. It is a 6-star, so it's not like the hardest unit to get, and it's just a better Funny Valentine. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna say that it can go in must-haves. Actually, I realized I just said it was a better Funny Valentine. Not better, but it's just like a different variation of it. Now let's get on to Escanor 4-star. You just don't need it. There's better farm units out there. Like, if you have an Escanor, then, I mean, you can go ahead and use it, especially if you're a beginner. I would even say, actually, it's just a budget support unit, but I'd rather you just get Bulma, because you can evolve your Bulma into Bulma 5-star, so I'm gonna say you don't need it. If you really want Escanor 5-star, which isn't necessarily that great of a unit in the current game, go for it, but you just don't really need this unit. And then Giorno 6-star is going to go at the top of my must-haves. Now, you don't need it, because I'm pretty sure if you're doing a solo run, you might not even be using Giorno 6-star, but they're definitely going to be a good unit. I mean, not a good unit, a great unit. They're part of the Infinite meta. They're part of, like, the leaderboards. Giorno 6-star is one of the few units that can rewind enemies, and the only other unit on the list that can do, or that is in the current game that can do that, isn't on this tier list. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and put Giorno at the top of must-haves. His ability is unique, and you do need it for the Infinite meta, but we're not just judging based off Infinite, we're judging based off story, we're judging based off all the categories. Actually, no, I'll put it in everyone needs. Giorno does good damage. It has a really good orb, or a decent orb, honestly, for a story unit. And it's going to perform super well. Yeah, never mind. I'm definitely putting in everyone needs. Okay, so the next unit, which is going to be Saber 5-star. Now, I actually knew nothing about this unit, guys. I won't lie. I just had to quickly go to the wiki to check it out. It seems to be a story mode meta, but it doesn't give as much cash as other units. Like, you're probably going to use it in story mode. Its damage output actually seems to be quite good. Let me take a second look. Yeah, they're honestly a cheap unit too. I don't know how often they get used, but I can see contexts where people would be using this unit. I would say it's important. It's not even a budget support, like, it's very good, but I'd say it's important. And then Saber 4-star, which is better than Bulma. I'll put it in budget support. Like, I'm pretty sure getting Saber 4-star is probably better than having Bulma before you get access to World 2. So I will put it in the budget support category. Now, Funny Valentine is also going to be in the must-haves with Emiya. Funny Valentine is needed for the Infinite leaderboard meta, obviously. I can see contexts where you would also use it during a challenge. The only thing is I don't really see where you would use it in a solo loadout. Like, you would definitely want a teammate to have it. So that's why I wouldn't say every single player needs to get this unit. But I would put it in the must-haves, very important. And now Wiz is probably just a budget support. I mean, I think that Soma's better than them. Just from what I've seen, Soma's just a better base healer. And obviously with the Killua 3 wishes now, that's also going to be very, very important. So I'm going to go ahead and say Wiz is a budget support. And then next up on the list is going to be... won't lie, I don't know much about Zero. So yeah, the next unit's going to go ahead and be Subaru from ReZero. I don't know if their ability, like, stacks. I don't know the details, actually, because I never really used it when it came out, and I wasn't playing the game at the time, so I can't give this one a fair placement, honestly. But from what I've observed, because the ability seems to be, like, a Giorno rewind, along with a slowdown effect, and I don't know if you need it for highest wave. I actually have not checked, but I would say that this unit is probably going to be important, if not bottom of must-have. Very good unit. If you have it, great. Like, you should definitely, grind to have it. But, I would say that it's probably an important unit. I just don't know the details of their ability. And then next up is going to go ahead and be Dio 6-star. I think this is just a very good must-have. Global, long time stop on the entire map. needed for the infinite meta to my knowledge, and along with being very important for the infinite meta, it's also going to be a super good unit in general. The only thing is it is very expensive for like story mode purposes, so because it's mainly infinite, I would just say it's a good must-have to get. And the next up is going to be Brooke. I don't think you need this unit. I don't see any context where people are currently using Brooke. It's just a slight... Yeah, it's just a slight boost. So I would say that it can sit happily in the don't need tier. If you have it, great. I can definitely see some strategies with it. I just don't think you really need it. I can definitely see the music being good, and it's cool. It might just be a budget support. Like, it's just a worse Merlin and Erwin, but you can use its ability all the time. But I don't want to do disrespect to this tier. You don't need this unit. And then finally, Dio 5-star. Again, you don't need this support unit. There's just better options, better alternatives. You've got access to, like, Jotaro 6-star, Gojo 5-star, etc. It's a great unit. I mean, it's good, but I just don't think you need it. And with that being said, guys, that is going to be my final tiers. If you guys have any disagreements, please feel free to comment below explaining why. And yeah, I'm really open to any opinions. I do not stand by any of these. For all you know, tomorrow I have a completely different view on the whole subject. But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful and splendid day. And thank you all so much for watching. See you all later. Peace.